Hello.
Hello. We're back.
We're back on the couches, ready to cast us some video games, Peter.
Yeah, and we actually have a really, really good match this time around. We have the two best teams, the two best projected teams to play. It's going to be Lowpander versus Froyotech.
This is the match everyone's been waiting for.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to see these teams fighting against each other.
Yeah, when you have these Swiss brackets, it's always kind of a struggle in the beginning to find some good games. But then in the end here, like, you know, we're guaranteed to end up.
Eventually, over the course of the Swiss system, you're going to see the good teams play against the good teams. I mean, we saw Pizza Polished play Froyotech earlier. Pizza Polished being the third-seeded team with some good players, but it was pretty one-sided. Froyotech were looking pretty strong, but if there's going to be any really good games this LAN, we would expect it to be this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they've had a few games now to warm up each, so there's no excuses left. We can forget about jet lag.
Yeah.
Everyone's had their warms
They didn't
up.
seem affected by jet lag, to be honest.
Yeah, to be fair, Froyo were destroying.
Yeah, that just wasn't the case at all. I don't know actually when they arrived, but like, whatever breakfast they got, it worked. It was just on point.
Yeah, they've been destroying a few players in particular. Garbuglio, Bani, and Habib were all playing insane.
Yeah.
I don't know how many. Like Bani's KD and damage every map was just ridiculous.
Yeah, Bani is the ultimate tryharder, right?
Yeah,
like he is
Bani
incapable.
doesn't have a bad map on lands. It just doesn't. Does he ever have a bad map?
It happens, but like he never doesn't try. You know, so he's very consistent. He doesn't like mess around once he knows he's won or something.
He's always in the zone, you know.
Yeah, he always keeps going. So, like, he's just been putting up the numbers, and I expect him to keep on going. And the question is, for me at least, is can Lowpander actually match up with Froyotech?
I think if you look at the individuals, I think there's some things that go in Lowpander's favor. I think it's more the team side of things that becomes, you know, the issue for them.
Yeah.
Like, I'd probably put Martin above Bear on Medic. I don't know as much about Bear's record on Medic. I know he plays Invite, but Martin's been looking really promising. And then, like, when it comes to the scouts, I think overall, I think Lowpander have the edge. Funds and Mr. Epic are a scary scout combo. I've said it time and time again, and obviously Bani and Arik are nothing to scoff at either, but when you come down to the individual skill of the players, I think those two kind of have the edge over the Froyo scouts. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think Mr. Epic and Funds are very much capable of shutting down Garbuglio when he comes in from the flank, right? Because very often we've seen where he just like jumps in from the side when the team are like occupied otherwise. But if he just gets like two-shot by both of them at the same time, it doesn't matter, right? It's just a non-factor.
Yeah, so far they've been playing really well together and staying alive in a lot of fights and just focus firing like as scouts do together. Yeah. And when scouts do that together, more so than any other pairing of two classes in TF2, they can just win fights. Yeah. Especially if they're as consistent as Mr. Epic and Funds.
Yeah, it's also Reckoner, which is a pretty good sniper map.
Yeah, that's true, and you've got Mr. Epic and
Muuki on heavy on to mid.
Oh yeah,
that happens.
The heavy strats.
Yeah, I'm sure they have no like experience with dealing with that at all. So
yeah, I think they only saw a bit of it on Gullywash at I-61, but not on Reckoner, and we are going live just as you said. So, who are we going to watch to mid, Peter?
Well, I think it makes sense to watch just the demos. I don't see any... oh, God.
I'm looking at Habib just now. He's playing on the stairs on the point. Muuki's far right, doing a bit of spam to try and contest him. Both soldiers are doing some interesting jumps for Froyo. Garbuglio in and out very deep. Paddy jumping to follow up. Muuki trades for Garbuglio. Both roamers going dead, but everyone else is still alive. Pappy looking to make a commit on the right-hand side as both scouts trade as well. It's very even so far, Peter.
Yeah, you see a scout going in very aggressively there, but Mr. Epic will take down Bani. Bani got a little bit like a sidetrack right here as everyone else. And actually it looks like slowly but surely Lowpander will push back everyone else. And that's going to be a middle right now for Lowpander coming out. And just already showing that they are more than capable of actually standing up to them. On the good side, though, for Froyotech, they didn't lose like anything major critical, so they can hold second just fine.
Yeah, it was very even. Like straight away, it was both roamers died, and then 2 scouts died at the exact same time, 1 for each team. And the only slight difference was, I think, 1 more Froyo scout died as they started to back out. But besides that, it was a really closely fought mid fight that could have gone either way.
Yeah, Muuki tried to go in for a suicide there from the bottom, and that did not work at all. So we might see a counter sack coming in here from a soldier or something. Yeah, Gabuglio, he's definitely looking for it. We see Patty actually being the one who goes in first and dies. But he's going to get taken down, and then Mr. Epic immediately overextends into Habib. So they traded a little bit. It's still an edge right here for Froyotech, and his scout just runs in alone. Eric, I feel like he could have timed that better with his team, but Froyotech, they're going to continue forward unabashed here. They actually will get the Uber out, but they also do drop Garbuglio, and the Demo Man is now getting just rushed down, gets saved in the nick of time. Great save there by the medic.
Yeah, and we see a bit of a messy fight. It was kind of risky for Froyo to take that Uber going into mid anyway. Banny and Muuki trading in lower. Habib's on his own, dies to Hildreth's lock-in load actually, and it looks like Lowpander will be able to run over and take this second point. And it happened just as you said on mid when they had the Uber exchange. It was Garbuglio jumping in, got denied by both scouts, and he ended up getting drop and they forced.
Yeah, and I think they're looking to just continue to roll in here onto last. They're putting some time on the point. There is a heavy on the right side that they need to deal with. This is the big thing that they need to focus down immediately, and they do, and they cap, and there we go. Europe ahead, 1-0. That's it.
Yeah. I don't think most people are expecting this, but I'm glad to see that Lowpander are the ones getting off to an early start, only 3 minutes in the first round on the board. It was a closely fought mid-fight. Lowpander won that, ended up securing the round as well, so maybe if Froyo can return on this mid, they'll have the next round on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. I see, once again, no shenanigans coming out from Muuki or Mr. Epic on this middle. They're just going to play it straight up. It worked last time, even if it was a very hard-fought mid. And both teams, they're just kind of hanging back right now, just looking what they can find, if they can find any opening. And so far, they've seen none. Look at that. They are just not making a move. I think we finally have some people behind coming out here from Lowpander, and Muuki will be the first one to jump in, but he gets completely denied, taken down, and there's now a soldier behind line of Lowpander, and this is going to be very uncomfortable for them. They just need to run. Martin even getting chased down.
Martin managing to get the kit. He's being chased right now. Gets another little surf, but he's taking so much damage. He might be able to get the health kit.
Oh my god, that is...
Escorted out by Mon, his scout, and they manage to get back to last. Maybe I speak too soon. He's on 92%. They do manage to make it. Really good play from Mon and Martin to get out there just in the nick of time.
Yeah, it really goes to show how powerful it is to just have a scout to grab there, right? Like, you know, you just take a cab out. Yeah, and it's just incredible. But we see them looking to see how they can make their way in. It's even Ubers, they both have 100%. Though oftentimes you'll see like a demo man or a soldier just bomb in, see if you can get the medic. And then maybe a scout will run in as well, maybe try to go for it. But it's going to actually be Gabuglio jumping in, but gets completely denied. A wreck has gone down as well. Gabuglio on 5 HP will not make it out. That was a double sack. They do not get what they want. And will Lowpander actually push out here? They have a lot of alt classes, so I doubt it.
Yeah, they're 1 round up. They're sticking with off classes. It looks like Muuki's going spy, not just a spy check, but he's actually going for the play. It's a safe way to use a player advantage on last when you're round up to try and, you know, make that play. Like sometimes bombing a soldier in is more of a risk than it's worth, but when you're on spy, it's a very quick, you know, high risk, high reward play. He's in position now. I don't think he's been spotted, and it doesn't look like they're spy checking for him. He's just waiting for the good time to decloak. He goes in now. He's perfect behind Bear, and he doesn't get the stab.
He gets a pistol though. Oh, wow, that was so close. That was perfect timing. It was just unfortunate for him. They didn't get it. Nice try by Muuki, but not this time around. And this will actually open up a lot of opportunities for Froyotech. Kareg will run in first, and I think that's going to be Froyo's call to just get out of there. They was trying to make use of that man advantage, but didn't quite manage to get it, so they'll just back off and perhaps have Arek go back as sniper. I don't know if you know, I haven't watched too much of Arek play, but does he play sniper a lot?
I think he does play sniper from time to time, but from what I have seen, I don't think him or Banny snipe that often. He does seem to go sniper now, so maybe he's the designated sniper on the team. I don't know if he's quite on par with snipers that Froyo have had in the past, but who knows? I'm a bit out of touch with the recent Froyo lineups, especially this one with the more of a mixed team.
Yeah, like Mr. Epic either way is going to be a hell of a matchup to go up against. So he's going to have to prove his worth already. No doubt about it. Muuki once again is just playing spy, just completely calling out where the sniper is. So he's basically just playing
nerves of steel.
Yeah, security camera just standing in traffic.
CCTV.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll expect him the second time around. I don't think they went spy to check, so they don't know what off classes Lowpander will be running. Muuki jumping over Habib in lobby, getting position behind them now. Potentially in a good position as Eric's peeking top left. Muuki's coming up behind Bear. He's so close. Gets the stab onto Habib.
Wrong one. Oh my God. That's so unfortunate. But Areg also got taken down by Mr. Epic. So both pick classes getting a pick. But that was, I feel like he backstabbed the demo man through the medic.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it looked like.
But Bear had to pop Uber anyway, so it's still a full Uber advantage for Lowpander. And with the pick onto Habib as well, who's just coming from the spawn, it's a good time for Lowpander to push out if they can. Eric's coming in now, who's now on spy, just as Muuki was. The conch comes out, I don't know if it was from Muuki or Pappy, but they're pushing really deep on the left-hand side of second. They're trying to push the Froyo players out, but I don't know if anyone's aware of Eric being on the back gap.
Oh,
Muuki is there to contest him, and that'll be an unsuccessful play. Martin finally popping his Uber, and just as Froyo wipe completely, they're going to stack, deny all the forward spawns and get to mid, probably before anyone besides Banny and Paddy get in the respawn.
That is how you want to use an Uber, right?
Absolutely.
Like, you want to use an Uber and then they just wipe. That's just beautiful. So perfect situation right now for Lowpander. They're looking really strong to take a second round right now, but they have quite a lot of ground to cover up until that's an actual fact. Muuki's going to put some time on the point. It doesn't look like Froyo are interested in actually contesting this at all.
And they have a 40% Uber advantage. Because, I mean, they did use Uber just after, or just as they wiped Froyo, so it wasn't that big of an advantage once the Uber had faded. But yeah, they've got an entry pick now on Banny, who was really uncharacteristically out of position, rather, creating the opening pick, and now they're just about to get Uber, so maybe they'll look to use this. Hildreth walking towards main, Mon shortly behind him. They are taking it in, 63% on Bear, who's quite forward on the left. There's a sentry to protect them. The sentry goes down. They'll try to play the point now, but there's a heavy on left. So many targets to shoot for Lowpander. They're getting the frags, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Only 3 players left alive for Froyo. If 91% on Bear, but he can get Uber in time. Everyone dead. No casualties for Lowpander, and the second round on the board.
That was pretty much the exact opposite of what we normally see on these kind of pushes. You just push them back and then you play the point. But here it was the exact opposite, pretty much. They just played the frags. They just got all the players down, and the more frags they got, the more it just snowballed out of control for Froyotech. And that's going to be 2-0 in favor of the European Lowpander. So we got our wish. We have definitely a game on our hands. Lowpander is more than up for the task here, as Hildreth's going to put in some nice spam in the beginning, but last time it was just kind of a staring contest until we got some players behind. So let's see what they do this time.
Pappy's in behind, playing kind of loose from the rest of his team. Paddy playing quite aggressively with Habib really far forward to get the pick onto Hildreth. But Muuki's recommitting with Paddy right now. They get so much damage onto Froyo, but is the follow-up there? Funds get one frag. He does die for it, but it's just Mon and Martin left alive. Mon dying with 10 HP and Martin's nowhere to be seen. Habib's on the chase though. He's got Paddy with him. Can Martin survive this? It would be miraculous if he could, but he's surely going to die, and he does. A very late death for Martin. Spawns for Lowpander will be up surely, but they are just capping mid now, so maybe Lowpander have a bit of time once Martin respawns to get some hold on last.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. That's the worst kind of death as a medic, is to just die super late like that. Like, you think you can escape, but you just can't. But fortunately, the Froyo medic died as well, so it's going to be a pretty even Uber. Froyotech have a slight Uber advantage, but remember, you can't do aero building anymore. Not very well, at least. So it's going to be very difficult to properly build like super fast Ubers that you can dot push on. You can still dot push on this, but this is a map where you can just kite the Uber forever on last point. So it's probably not as viable as it would be on, say, like Gollywash or Process or something.
Yeah, else. I feel like that would have been a nice time to go crits for Bear. Yeah. I've not seen it. I don't think I've seen any crits so far in the games this LAN, but I quite like to see it, especially with stickies on LAN. Like it just feels so, they connect so well. But Froyo are looking to make something happen through main. They pop the Uber with Paddy and Arik coming in. No, it's Banny. They get the force onto Martin. Pappy's looking to go deep into lobby here. Gets the pick onto Bear. Really nice tail end of the Uber there from Pappy. The rest of Lowpander moving up towards lobby, really taking this position quite aggressively. Garbuglio on top right, getting onto Hildreth. Hildreth goes really weak, but they do manage to clean him up, and Lowpander are playing really well here to shut down any aggression from Froyo.
Yeah, when you push out like this, like what you're really afraid of is that a scout gets behind lines, or like a soldier and a demo man or something like overwhelms one flank. But Lowpander, they just covered all the entrances, played together really well, helped out each other whenever anyone was being pressured. They just pushed out perfectly, and they maintained their medic, they maintained their Uber advantage, and they just didn't lose anyone, and they didn't get back cap. So just perfect push out here from Lowpander. Froyotech, they're really struggling to convert these rounds where they actually have a really good advantage. And if you want to win maps, you gotta get that last cap. I feel like that's really dumb to say, but it's the it's the truth.
You have to secure those last pushes and last holds properly, but off the back of that Uber advantage that they've kept, it's only 20%, but they are looking to make something happen. Martin goes in on the right side, surfs a bit of damage, they've popped the Uber, they get quite a bit of damage on a pick onto Arik. Hildreth looking to go a bit deeper, but Bear's going to get Uber in time to contest this, and if I expect Froyo how I think they play, they're going to try and contest this. They take the Uber in, Banny and Paddy going deep, they get the pick onto Martin, Habib with the follow-up as he jumped in behind them.
Yeah, really great job there. However, we have Bear going down as well. Look at that, Muuki with the big flank. That's going to be really crucial. And we even saw a banner coming out. I think that's actually Muuki's banner, because I think Poppy is on the battalion's backup. So are they both playing with a banner? Is that
I think they're both playing. No, it looks like Muuki's just on gunboats. But Lowpander have neglected the capture here, despite when they popped that banner and they kind of overwhelmed Froyo. They weren't able to do anything with it. Pappy was behind. He does get spotted. Both soldiers are going to go for him. Gets air shot. Nice shot from Garbuglio there to deny that. And with their 2 picks, Muuki on just respawning now. Pappy still 15 seconds in the respawn queue. Froyo will be looking to get into second here. I'd like to see something from Hildreth.
This soldier's in very deep, and he's actually going to jump over until he scouts. So he basically baits people into the scout. That was a really nice play by Froyotech. I kind of drawing people from one flank to the other and kind of syncing up there. And they're going to just keep pushing on in here to last. It's looking like an extremely promising push.
Pappy gets onto Bear, kills him at the very start of the push. They don't have any heals for this, but they won't need them. Lowpander not in a position to defend the last point there after the multiple deaths on second, and that will be the first round on the board for Froyotech. Only 1 round difference between them now.
That was a great showcase of just steamrolling around. Right, like if you can't push last very well, just push second extremely well and just continue that into last. That's kind of a classic way, like a lot of teams did that with Granary back in the day. But it definitely also works here on Reckoner. Oh, just a really great balling up there by Froyotech and just keep pushing in. We have another mid here. Looks like so far we have very little aggression coming out from both teams, but Poppy's going to jump behind as the first one, and now Gabuli will jump in very aggressively onto the scout, tries to get the air shot, will get the clean rocket onto Funds. Hits another nice one onto another scout, and with both scouts basically just neutralized, I think that's going to be that as Paddy jumps in, gets Poppy and himself, and it's just a matter of can Martin get out alive, and it looks like this time around he will be successful, but you can never count your eggs before
they hatch.
Exactly. Thank you for saving me on that one.
That's why we're a casting duo, Peter. But Lowpander being able to keep their medic alive, and the fact that Bear died on the mid, they're going to look to recontest second here and get the cap. They're doing well to cover their flanks and make sure that no one gets behind. No threat of a back cap here, but Paddy's in and he's going to be looking to put some pressure. Martin getting forced, but they do get a pick onto Bear again and Habib, who were really far forward despite the fact that they were on huge Uber disadvantage. Kind of questionable play there from the Froyotech combo. They have Paddy and Arik now on the flank as Lowpander are trying to come into mid. There's a bit of a back cap. There's going to be 3 players on it with both of them there, but Lowpander surely going to come back.
Paddy actually goes for the medic instead. He's running at him. Oh, Martin saves himself. That's a good job, but it was still a really good back cap at 7 coming out. That's going to force everyone to back, and now they have to go down on this low ground to cap it, and that's so annoying to deal with as Lowpander, because if Froyotech walks in, they're standing on the low ground, and that's just a terrible place to be. Looks like, however, they have just enough presence to have Froyotech not be able to dare it and go in there with their lack of spawners.
Yeah, I think if there was maybe 1 less player behind, they would have had... Ooh, and Annie dying as well to Pappy. Pappy doing really well so far this game. Paddy's actually in trying to contest. They should know by now that Lowpander are on a full Uber advantage, and they're just feeding into players, not really focus firing on the medic or on any individual picks. They're kind of just throwing players in at nothing. It's just Habib and Bear left alive. Bear on 95%. Maybe they were just trying to delay. But if they can kill the heal target, he doesn't get the saw in time. And Lowpander are going to be able to win this round as well.
That's an absolute heartbreaker for a medic. Stuck on 99%.
99%.
Like, at some point during a round, you have made a tiny mistake where you weren't healing someone where you're supposed to. And like, when you die with 99%, you're just kicking yourself because it's so heartbreaking. And it's basically the same as dropping. And yeah, just bad luck.
I didn't realize what Froyo were trying to do there on second initially, but they were just trying to buy as much time as they could because they know Bear might have got Uber, and in the end it just wasn't enough as he was on 99% when Habib died. So unfortunate for Froyotech. This time round on the mid, they're doing the same as what they did last, where they play quite tight together and they kind of await an opening. It looks like Paddy and Garbuglio are looking to sync up. Garbuglio was in quite a bit earlier. He got funds for his efforts, but Paddy's not able to follow up too deeply. He's going really weak. Muuki's playing really well on the left-hand side, shutting down any aggression. Banny dies for it. Arik getting the trade on Banny's damage, but Hildreth's in a position now to really shut down Arik and Bear. They're in their enemy's lower, going back to second, and they're going to have to wrap around into Toxic. Garbuglio on the respawn queue, but Lowpander are just going to shut this down at the show.
Wow, yeah, so this is just a solo Uber on the scout, but look at this. The medic, oh, it sucks that Eric is just trying to pistol the medic. That's not very scary for a medic with full health. And very well played there by Martin, not panicking, not just popping because the enemy medic has popped. It's kind of an automatic reaction for a lot of medics, but Martin just holds on to it here as he should, and Eric beefing it a little bit there, not able to do it. So now Lowpander, they will be making their way in, trying to not use their Uber to take second here so they can use it into the last. And so far they are successful, and they have actually forced out Froyotech. So really well played so far by Martin, just keeping himself alive in a good position, and of course his team is keeping him safe as well. But now they will have an Uber to push in onto last, and it's all thanks to just a bit of a bad Uber coming up Froyotech and this Martin being cold-blooded.
Yeah, they've taken the Uber in from left side. They've pushed them all back through the spawn. Trying to pressure the cap. Now, there were stickies to deny it, but Pappy's putting really a lot of damage onto the right-hand side. Mon going down for it as well, but Lowpander might be able to get it. They've got the health advantage. It's 3v2 just now. Only Habib left alive. He can clutch.
Oh, he got two.
It's a 1v1 between the demos. What can Habib with a big pipe to clutch that 4K on the last. Wonderful play from the American Devilman, or Canadian Devilman.
Yeah. And Bear complaining about that was a 99% on 2 holds in a row. Good thing for him, he has a beep to clutch it there. So you lose some, you win some, but yeah.
Happy's hiding on second. I don't think they've spotted him.
Oh, there's actually a second player there as well. He tries to go for the medic and spam him out, but as it is, the only thing they're actually going to gain is just to push Froyotech back. They'll be building up on last again. It's a slight Uber advantage for Froyo, but definitely not something you can properly push on on this map at least. So at this point, is this where you send in the alley bomb demo?
I don't know. If I'm Lowpander in this position with 10.5 minutes left, 2 rounds up, I would like to put the pressure on Froyo. I'd play it really slowly. Maybe go for sniper or spy plays, or just, really bait aggression. I mean, I think Lowpander have done it in the past where they play around the round timer. I mean, there's still a lot left in the round timer at this stage, but
yeah.
I don't think that would be off the cards because that would do a lot to help secure the map. They're still able to lose this. I mean, there's plenty of time for Froyo to come back into it, but it looks like Lowpander are doing what I'd expect. Just playing it safe, baiting aggression from Froyo and looking to shut down any attempts they make to get back onto second.
Yeah, you can see Froyo, they kind of know that they probably have to do something at some point, right? Because at this point, I think they're afraid that Lowpander will just lock down the map and sit around for 8 minutes and then it's over. So what they're doing is they're moving forward, and now when they're holding forward lobby, it's very, like, you don't need to have a whole lot of an entrance. So just like a tiny window will be all that they actually need to make it out there. So far, Banny looks like he's going to try and get in there, but he doesn't quite make it. Oh, soda jump but gets completely denied by Banny.
They were expecting that.
Yeah.
Happy slightly overextended as well. They were both on gunboats. Paddy looking to move forward, being followed up by Arik and Bear, but Habib isn't quite with them yet. And they're not really able to do much here. Soldier getting denied. Garbuglio trying to follow up as well. They do get the force, but they're might lose another for it. Really good pick actually from Arik getting funds during the Uber. Bear hasn't had to...
Oh, Muuki coming in from the side though. He's just up on the high ground. Oh, he's actually not hitting those rockets. That's a shame because he was just in a prime position. He's going to jump in again.
Big damage from Muuki.
Oh, yeah.
Straight onto Bear. Good follow-up on Bani and Habib as well from Papi. Padio's in just now trying to get some sort of silver lining to this cloud, but he gets Muuki for his efforts. Not much else is going to be there though. 5 seconds on Bear's respawn timer, and it'll be about a 60% Uber advantage for Martin by the time they're getting ready to push. We'll see some off classes, I'm sure, from Froyotech, but it's really a case now of how are Lowpander going to use this Uber advantages, because it's a sizable one to use in this situation, and I don't think they're going to be waiting on second like they were earlier.
Yeah, you probably go on this kind of advantage. Like, if it doesn't work, you can kind of sit back and just force them to push out with an Uber. And look at that, Froyotech actually holding really far forward and getting completely crushed. I think they were trying to catch them out before the Uber comes in, but that did not work at all.
Full wipe for Froyotech.
Holy hell.
That was an interesting decision from Froyotech, to say the least, but Lowpander looking pretty dominant so far in this game. They had a decent attempt to try and get out onto second, Froyotech, but Lowpander shut it down with the following fight. And then with that Uber advantage that they used really well, just wiping everyone in lobby.
Yeah, like, I assume Froyotech were trying to catch out the medic before he got the Uber. That would seem like the obvious play to me. But, you know, when you misjudge that or just don't execute properly, you get punished hard, and that's what we saw right here. Going to be a very aggressive mid actually from Lowpander. They just go in very deep with both soldiers just basically in the face of Froyotech. So far they're winning out by a lot, but we still have Habib, Bani, and Bani alive, and they're kind of the 1-2 punch of the Froyotech team right now, but they're going to decide not to go in, and this is just a really horrible position right now for Froyotech.
It looks like, I mean, we mentioned Paddy and Garbuglio earlier as well, but they looks like they've been having a really tough game so far against Funds and Mr. Epic. I don't know how many times I've seen it now that one of them jumps in and they get really hard denied, but Papi looking to make space on left just now. Mon going down, Papi as well. Really good combination play from Garbuglio and Habib to spam the players entering on the right side there, shutting down that push, but they still have 60% Uber advantage, Lowpander. It's going to be hard for Froyo to get something with this. They get a pick onto Garbuglio. I don't know if he was sacking, but there's really not much Froyo can do right now.
Yeah, right. Like, the only thing you can do is to push forward and try to just like damage the enemy team with your superior numbers, but if your medic is too far forward, they just Uber on you and kill your medic, and it's completely worthless. So the medic can never commit properly, so you have to be very, very careful, and Froyotech was just that. And now it's going to be an even Uber, and question is, how do you break this stalemate? Because you have about 6 minutes to get 3 points, and that means just pushing. And we can see here, yeah, there we go. Banny's just going to Uber in here. Well, I assume they're going to Uber in very soon because this is very aggressive play. Yeah, Banny's just in the front. He actually gets down the Demo Man, so this is a pretty good exchange already. The Uber is longer on the side of Lowpander, but that could very well not end up mattering. But
they
as
get the pick onto Martin, but everyone else is dying for Froyotech. It's just Banny and Bear left alive. Never underestimate Banny, but I don't think he's enough to fight Mon and Funds in this situation. These two guys have been doing really well so far this map. They're going to be capping out second now, and this is another position where I'd like to see a crit because it would extend a small advantage for an Uber into a bigger one. And Lowpander have been good with crits in the past, so I'm a bit disappointed. I'm going to be telling these gamers to use crits in the future, but right now, 5 minutes left. That was a really important push to lose for Froyotech, because now it goes from being difficult to nearly impossible. They need to play really, really well if they want to get 3 rounds on the board in 5 minutes.
Yeah, if I'm going to play devil's advocate on your crits request right there. Oh, and Muuki actually gets the medic as well. And this is just a complete slaughter right now. We see Arek trying to take down the scout. Actually wins against Funds. Really good job. He's onto the medic as well. Gets the medic. Wow. And he gets the soldier as well. Can he get the last one? This is Demo Man. No. That was close. But
the whole time, Mon has been capping second, getting that forward spawn for his teammates. Banny coming out to contest him with heals. Good bit of damage being put out. He'll just get some damage onto the cap as well. I don't know if anyone else will be there in time to block this cap, but Froyo are committed. Froyo want to get their rounds back on the board. It looks like they're moving over towards the cargo area. Hildreth and Muuki set up to deny that, but Banny's looking to enter in now.
Yeah, Paddy's in very deep and will actually take down Funds. Funds was trying to dodge it, but look at that. The spam coming out from Hildreth and Poppy will just completely deny this push, taking down players. And as people get pushed down onto the low ground, it's just basically over. And Martin will even survive at the tail end here. He's pretty weak, will pick up a medkit, and now
there's a couple players behind for Froyo. Arik and Garbuglio in the cargo area. They're going to be looking to make some sort of play onto the Lowpander. Arik does get spotted. Garbuglio still alive in the lower area, playing for the health kit. I think Lowpander are wise to him though, and it would be surprising if he got...
You're wrong! Wow, that was close. He actually got a really nice jump in onto Martin, and Martin will actually pop. And they're trying to go into this boiler room right here, and they will push back Froyotech and Cap second. But will they keep on going? Paddy will actually just take him down with, I think, spam. And now with Lowpander, they're all in. Like, they want this point. If they don't cap this and kill a lot of people fast, then they're just going to lose. Right, and Hildreth is just going to run on 18 HP.
Yeah, they do lose a lot of players trying to throw it in there, but they're doing what Froyo were doing a few rounds ago. They've sent in a lot of players. They've delayed a lot with their aggression. And I think now we're reaching the garbage time because it's beyond Froyo to get back into this game. They are going to try though. They're looking in, getting into mid with their 80% Uber advantage. They'd like to not pop here, I'd imagine. No one in Lowpander is in a position to contest. They're all playing pretty safe on second. Pappy does die a bit far forward in cargo as Froyo are pushing quite deep on the right side of the defender's second point. Paddy going in deep onto Hildreth gets good damage for it.
Oh! Muuki gets a meme spoon kill. And
he's onto the med as well.
Oh.
Gets one rocket, but not quite enough. Full Uber for Bear and Froyotech. They're going to be looking to come in finally now onto second after their failed attempt last time. Habib going deep onto Martin, gets good damage, but not enough to secure the frag, and Martin's just going to stay alive as the tail end of the Uber comes out from Froyotech. No cap time. They know that they can't do anything on this map. They're just going to try and get some frags now.
Yeah, probably. Might as well just do that. I'm not sure how much a round actually matters when we have this Swiss tournament. I think Froyotech are safe enough that they don't need to worry about the rounds, but it feels good to get around either way, right? And they are pretty close to actually getting it. Muuki being pressured out really hard by this soldier. He can't even retreat to spawn because of the pressure onto the point. And look at that, he will get Ubered. So this is a pretty okay hold, but they need to hold the line once this Uber ends.
The spawners are coming in 1 second. As long as the end of this Uber isn't terrible. Arik's trying to play the point. The spawners are coming in now. Froyo Habib doing so much damage onto the point. Paddy with the skill stick kill, and this will be a round to Froyo.
Yeah, so they get it. They get what they wanted, and you can kind of feel like they were really trying, and Lowpander were like being a bit sloppy, right?
Yeah, Lowpander were quite content that they won the map, it seems like it. We might have a pyro to mid for funds. Oh. He knows that they've won. He's going to try and get a flame kill onto Banny. I know it. Let's see what he can do.
This is where I'm kind of regretting that we didn't allow the jetpack. You know, I don't care about the other one. Like, I just want a jetpack, a pyro flying around on the map.
I mean, there's 30 seconds left. I'm just going to watch funds this mid.
Oh, yeah.
That's walking on the right-hand side. He's stock flamethrower, shotgun.
Oh, he's got his way in there. Yeah. Look
Gets the flame kill onto Banny. Oh. Gets it onto Habib. He's on Bear as well. Will he? He might burn out. He'll reach the pack just in time. Big funds 2K.
He got everything he wanted.
Wonderful end to this game. Wonderful end. Yeah, that's exactly what I like to see.
I feel like this has happened before. Like, whenever we watch and the game is just over, someone will go pyro and they will go huge. This happens.
Yeah.
This has happened before.
Yeah,
I think it was
feel
like
we've been in this exact same situation. Except this time it's on land.
Yes.
Yes,
that's
which is
great. The big difference. And that matters way more. Actually, flames on land is pretty good, right? But yeah, big congratulations to Lowpander, who will take a map off of Froyotech.
By everyone's estimations, a pretty big upset. I think most people are expecting Froyo to be dominant this tournament, but Lowpander were insane.
Yeah, they look completely safe.
Yeah, this is the Lowpander I was wanting to see at I-61, where they just show up and kind of dominate. Because I thought they could do that. I'm pretty excited about Mon and Pappy so far this land. Because after that game, they look like they're really on. I'd really like to see some logs, actually. I want to get the stat breakdown of who got the frags.
Who's actually like going huge. It was kind of hard to tell.
What went wrong for Froyo, do you think? I think
I think they shut down the roamer really well, like the two scouts. So Mr. Epic and Funch actually stepped up, like we said that they had to. And then also, it seemed like they were really good at sending soldiers behind. There were several mids where they would just have like both soldiers like standing like underneath and inside like a different cubby or something, and they would just like be spamming Froyotech and just pulling them back. And
Sorry,
Froyotech,
the logs just came up. I don't mean to interrupt, but I just see 30 kills, 16 deaths, 10,666 damage, and 8 air shots for Paddy.
That's some truly evil stats.
That's a pretty big stat performance right there.
Yeah.
That's Uber's level play.
Yeah, we were all kind of questioning whether or not that would be a big issue, and I think you can't really argue that it isn't a big deal that Ubers is gone, but when Poppy steps up like this, it's definitely a nice way.
Wow, another stat that looks ridiculous is Bear died 17 times.
Oh yeah, that's...
I don't think Banny's played with, I mean, in any of his previous lands, with the exception of maybe I-61, but Raptor's good as well. He's always played with very experienced medics on Froyo.
Yeah.
With Nursey and with Shade. And maybe Bear's inexperience. I mean, because that's one thing I was going to talk about when I asked what you think went wrong with Froyo. I was going to bring up Bear on medic.
Yeah, he was
how you think the synergy is for the combo, because I feel like some of the Ubers were really weird, and I don't know if that's... It doesn't strike me as something Banny would be doing wrong.
Like, there were definitely a couple of weird times where they were really far forward, right? Where, like, I figured they were trying to drop the medic or something before you got to Uber. Like, that was really, really far forward. And I don't know exactly what was going on, but it seemed kind of symptomatic of, like, that kind of play happened a lot, where the medic would be too far forward and just get Ubered on.
Yeah, well, I mean, I always like looking at logs and trying to understand why upsets happen. Hildreth having a good game as well, actually. 20 for 11. That's the kind of stats that you want to see on demo, especially in the current meta. It's all about staying alive. A lot more deaths for the Froyo combo players than they would have liked.
But
like 7 deaths for Martin. That's a pretty dominant meta performance there. And I don't know, Pappy. What do you think Pappy was doing differently? Because it seemed like he was going behind a lot, doing kind of roamer-esque things.
Yeah, like especially in mid, and I think it's just the way he was syncing up with Muuki a lot of the time, because it wasn't just Pappy, right? I feel like just singling out Pappy is probably not giving credit enough to the team, because
absolutely.
Like what Pappy was doing, like you can't just do that on your own. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
But the fact that he was doing what he was doing while his team was doing what they were doing, like that's actually what was causing this to work so well. And he just executed really well and was hitting his shots. And I think that's what really came down to it. And then I think he was also often ending up on the flank, and he was kind of beating out Arek quite a bit, while Benny was kind of like doing pretty well in the combo.
Yeah, there was a lot of times where it seemed like it wasn't just Garbuglia that was getting shut down. Like Arek and Garbuglia, a lot of the times they'd be getting in positions behind, going for plays, and they would get shut down the majority of those times. And usually with Froyotech, the flank is the thing that kind of dominates over other people. Maybe not playing with Blaze as they have been for the past while is quite different.
Yeah, Blaze is actually really good at Soldier. I just realized. He's, I know, brave. But yeah, like not having Blaze on the roamer spot is definitely something that could cause the flank to suffer.
Again, though, it is early.
Yeah.
They could still be quite jet lagged, I don't know. But I'm quite surprised at just that result. Lowpander, it says 4-2, so it doesn't look like it was that one-sided of a game. But Lowpander were pretty dominant throughout all of that. It didn't seem like they weren't in control. Like, as soon as they got the first round and they played the second round well, it was just Lowpander's game.
Like it was basically 4-1, and then Lowpander got a little sloppy, and then there was another round for Froyotech. So it was very, very safe. And I think actually I think the 11-23 scoreline for Gabuglio is probably the most telling, because he was what was just carrying Froyotech through a lot of these things. Like he was like the symptom showing.
Like when they played Pizza Polishers, Gabuglio had a crazy game.
Yeah.
He had so many big plays and big kills. But when you compare that to how he played against this team, he couldn't do anything.
Yeah, it could be the map, and that it's easy to shut down a soldier. This is a very wide open map, whereas Gollywatch is a lot shorter. Like, you can't see the soldier coming from as far away on Gollywatch as you can on Reckoner. So maybe that has something to do with it. It could just be that the Froyotech, do they actually play Reckoner in America? That's probably a good question to ask.
I think they do. I don't know for certain.
Yeah, I haven't
But I
actually
mean,
watched it.
you would expect that if they don't play it, that they would have banned it early on.
That's very true.
Maybe they're just not comfortable with as wide a map pool with more of a mixed team.
Yeah, it could be. It could be that just the fact that they haven't been scrimming that much together, they're basically a mixed team. They've all played together at some point or another, but they are essentially a mixed team, and that could just make it that these kind of more unorthodox maps are just
We
something
do
that they
have
struggle with.
some gamer behind you just now. I think it is Muuki
Oh man,
off the back of his victory. I don't know.
he doesn't have a market gardener, does he?
Oh, I hope not.
Oh god.
Anyway, I think we might. I have word that we're going to do interviews shortly
Oh, with Muuki.
with Muuki.
I
That would
agree.
make sense why he is crossing the screen behind us over there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So yeah, okay. I think we're just gonna take it over to TurboTabs and Muuki in the couch.
yeah. We'll
I think
we'll
that's how
pass
it
it over
works.
to these guys. Get Mookie's take on things. They are still preparing at the moment, so
All
we
right,
can fiddle around and have a bit of a conversation as we look over, wondering what they're up to.
Yeah.
I want to see what Mookie's take on this game is.
Yeah, me too. This is not the last game of the day, right? We still
Yeah,
have
no.
one more to
So
go.
this is we're in round 3 now, the last round of the Swiss system, but
right.
because of because not everyone can play at once with the PCs we have.
Right.
The next, there's going to be another 2 games happening after this. Well, only 2 games happening simultaneously, one of which being casted. I'm not sure who's playing, but yes.
Yeah.
One more casted game, and then we're done for the day.
Yeah. There's definitely one more coming up. So we will have our lovely interview, and then we'll have one more match. And then you can all go to sleep or go drinking, whichever one you prefer. And I'm not sure if we're ready to set it over.
I think we're good. So over to the guys over there, TurboTabs and Muuki.
Hey, we're on. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You needed it. You demanded it, probably. Didn't check. But we've got the man himself, the meme shovel, the backstabber, the ender of Banny. It's Muuki. How you doing, man? How are you feeling after a victory like that?
Hello. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I feel pretty damn good. I wasn't honestly expecting this kind of scoreline. We kind of came into this land thinking that, it's just gonna be a fight for second place, and we're just gonna get completely stomped. But nice things happened. If I can explain shortly why I think we won. Basically, they picked Reckoner. I guess they wanted to try it out, but they never play that map, so it's kind of understandable. Might be a different story once we actually have to play them on a map they know.
Now, Muuki, all week long, maybe not week long, sorry, like all day long, you guys, all of Lowpander, have kind of been counting yourselves out for the upcoming Froyotech game. I can remember you guys were going like, oh man, yeah, it's going to be a fight for second, it's going to be all this, all the stuff you were kind of mentioning before. But at what point in the game were you thinking like, we could actually do this, guys? We could definitely do this.
Well, in general, like even when we played at I61 and all of our Prem games against like actual good teams like Seven, stuff like that, the whole week we're like, there's no point in even trying, we're just gonna lose. But then 15, 10 minutes before the game, everyone just kind of activates and actually wants to win. So even if we talk a lot about, we don't like playing the game or something, every time there's an official against a good team that we find challenging to play against, 10 minutes everyone just gets into the zone. So 10 minutes into the game, no one cares if it's winnable or losable, we just really want to win. So yeah, it just happens every time basically.
Now, there was a lot of good things that was going on in that game, but was there anything you spotted during that game that you weren't happy with? Like, there must have been parts where you're like, oh man, I wish we just did this a little bit better, that a little better. Was there anything you weren't happy with that last game?
Well, there are like 2 or 3 situations where we just made the wrong call. Like, I don't remember if it was the first or second round we lost, but we basically had 2 soldiers die in the middle of the round. We were like on middle or something. Pappy dies, then I died first, then Pappy dies, and our team decides to stay on second, even though we're 2 soldiers down. I spawned, and as I'm ready to go into second, they push 6v4, we lose Hildreth, we lose funds, and you know, losing your demo man and losing funds, not a good thing. Like, you know, these are these general mistakes we've been making for a long time, and that's not what I was happy with. Also, another thing that I'm not very happy with is like my own DM. Like, you know, of course, I can make the excuse that it's a different environment, stuff like that, but honestly, if I have to tell the real story, my hands were kind of shaking, because I knew I was like playing one of the better or like more interesting games of my life. So yeah, mostly just like personal dissatisfaction.
Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, Muuki gets nervous. Who knew? Who knew? Now, who do you think, in your opinion, from that last game was like the most valued player? Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be from your team. You can pick somebody out on Froyotech that was giving you a hard time. But who do you think was like the MVP of that match?
Well, honestly, Pappy was just beasting. Like, you can see it just from the logs. You don't even have to play or watch the game. When you see a guy who does 2,000 damage more than anyone else in the game, and it's not just a complete stalemate, you know it's that like he's doing work. If I had to choose one player from both teams, well, I don't know. Playing against Banny is always very scary. He just like, he reads the game. And if he decides you're dead, then you're just dead and you really can't do much about it. Yeah.
All right, well, I guess we've talked about that game like quite a lot now. Now we get to get in the meat of the interview. We get to talk about the man behind the daggers, behind the meme spoon. It is Muuki. So Muuki, if you had to describe like your accolades of your career, like what would you put in that gravestone there? What's like a great highlight for your TF2 career?
The great highlight of my career was probably, this is what I say every time, but back in season 18, some people don't actually know that I played 1.5 seasons in Prem during season 18 and 19, but during that time we got a single point off of Epsilon Esports. Okay, back at the time they weren't playing at their best and they probably weren't trying their hardest, but you know, it felt damn good to take a point off of them.
I remember that game. That was the one where you changed. Was it like the team folded, but you changed your name to something like we took points off Epsilon or something like that? Or no? Okay, maybe I'm thinking of an old, more tactless team. But anyway, my production are kind of swaying me along. We need to kind of wrap things up. So sadly, we talk about the game so much, we didn't get to go into the behind the scenes of Muuki. But how about this, man? How about you got any closing thoughts? Any special things you want to shout out? Maybe even like a throwdown to Banny at all. The mic's yours.
Well, I just want to say, I hope we can bring the same kind of play the next time we play Froyotech. And you know, even though I say a lot of smack about a lot of people on the forums, on Twitch, on my stream, I love pretty much everybody. So, you know, I love everyone.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. Oh, that land love. Okay, all right. I guess we got to wrap it up before I start crying. Please, just take the stream away. Okay.